Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And again, I would like to express my thanks as well for what the VA and the other agencies are doing, the Housing and Department of Labor as well, for homeless veterans. I mentioned before I have a homeless shelter in my town that is privately funded, the Miller Homeless Vet Center, and has done a phenomenal job being very, very close on the front line, and I can't commend them enough for what they do, and they have the same heart and passion as well. The question I have, though, when we're talking about ending homelessness in veterans by 2015 is the VA Inspector General came out last week with a report from the National Call Center for Homeless Veterans, which identified over 40,000 missed opportunities where the call center did not refer homeless veteran callers to medical facilities or close referrals without making sure homeless veterans actually receive their services. So what's the follow-up on that? Where is the VA in addressing the concerns of the oversight of the IG?
Good question. You know, we share your concerns. I read the report. It's disappointing for all of us, and frankly, it's just unacceptable. We regret that any veteran who was calling for information and referral did not get the service that they needed. That said, you know, this was a journey for us, and when we set up the call center, it was a smart idea. We knew we needed a quick way to get veterans access to information. Frankly, it grew faster than we were able to execute, and we didn't grow with it.
How many employees are in that call center?
For the homeless hotline, there's about 60 employees, and it's coupled with the Veterans Crisis Line. That said, we've already, even prior to the IG report coming out, we've already started making improvements because we have to. Our veterans deserve that.
So in the improvements that you started to make, were those improvements in holding employees accountable, or were the improvements in getting rid of the answering system so that it can't be left on auto to leave what steps have you taken to keep the employees accountable?
It's both. So we're in the process of finalizing an automated queuing system so that the answering machine can be gone, and that queuing system will allow vets to pick a number, 1, 2, or 3, or stay on the line and talk to a responder. We've also started looking into a workforce tracking system, which will allow an automated system for us to know how long calls are being talked on, who's doing what, where the documentation is, and all of that is getting worked on right now as we speak. We've also targeted staffing to come in during the peak hours. I think one of the congressmen said that. So now they're coming in staggering hours so that we have staff on duty. Right now, our service level is about 90% of the calls are being answered.
So those people, well, I guess the answering system that was in use when the IG came in and looked at that, was that service not adequate to be able to pull all the information from what time the veteran called, what number they called from? Were those kind of, was it possible to go in and retrace and try to find some of these folks, or are they just, is that information just gone
now
and the new system has it?
Right. You could get that information, but it was an answering machine, so some of it was inaudible and it was not automated. So somebody literally had to go in and track that. Now, with an automated system, that information will be at our fingertips, and some of that is at our fingertips right now that we're now tracking.
So what did you find out when you went in to kind of go in and implement the IG's findings? What did you find out those employees were doing when the Inspector General said there was lapses of up to 4 hours where they weren't there, but they were obviously being paid? What were they doing? Did you find out?
I know that some of the things the employees were doing were training. They were on training, they were on leave, they were on, they were looking, doing documentation, and.
But 40,000 phone calls? How long of a period of time does it take to get 40,000 phone calls in there? I mean, well, we'll never find these people, but, you know, it's interesting to me. It's $3.2 million in a department that loses 40,000 phone calls. 2/3 of that money is in the system itself. So were employees fired? Did somebody talk to them about, you know, are there things on the record? Are these people all still there, and these are all the people that we're going forward with?
So management is looking at how to address issues in performance, and will be addressing that. I don't know if all the employees are still there. I do not think anyone's been fired, but we can get back to you on that. I think
And then whoever's in charge of that department, when that IG report came out and was basically proof to the VA that there was a huge issue going on in that call center and 40,000 call opportunities were missed, was what happened to the person in charge of that department?
So leadership, again, is reviewing and assessing the performance, and if there is wrongdoing found, they will be taking care of that.
They will be fired?
I won't say they'll be fired. There are many ways, counseling, suspension, reprimands, and of course, if there's something egregious, there could be
Yeah, I just think it's a huge
exit.
impediment, Mr. Chairman, that, because we all want homelessness ended by 2015, right? But we want to make sure that the things get corrected in the VA, because I think the American people stood up and loudly said enough's enough, and this has to stop. So I appreciate your interest in looking at it as well. Thank you, Mr.
Representative
Chairman.
Fitzpatrick.